boys and girls, anybody who's watching on any platform, Rumble or YouTube. This is the Bold Prediction Sports Show, and as tradition, I'm that dude with the beard, and that's Mr. KC over to my left, depending on how you're looking at the screen. What's going on with it, my man?
Oh, enjoying another day in sunny paradise, living the dream. You know what it is. You know how we keep it pimping, pimping.
Living the dream. Are y'all getting any hurricane residuals?
No. We got a couple. You always got to keep your eye out this time of the year. But I think knock on wood and whatnot. But we might be cool. We cool so far. Couple things down in the Caribbean. You always got to keep your eye out. But
Right.
we try to stay safe.
Well, I hear you on that here. I'm glad to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, as you saw here, well, as we see tonight, we're wrapping up NFL Week 2 here. And right now, currently, we're in the fourth quarter of the Philadelphia-Atlanta game. Philadelphia is currently up by 3, 15-18. Um, we're going to see how it ends, man. I had picked the Falcons to win this game, and I still think they have more than enough time. I'm not watching it live, folks. I don't know. I just see the play-by-play here, but I mean, they got a chance. There's always a chance when you're playing the Eagles because they have an Alabama quarterback.
It does have a way of keeping you in the clear, don't it?
It does. And speaking of Alabama quarterbacks, what a mighty weekend to witness the fall from grace from almost every single quarterback from Alabama. You can put it at this point. Tua's done. At least, well, he ain't done, but everybody telling him he should be done. The Panthers are benching Bryce Young.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by that. I figured they would have gave him a little bit of leash. Yeah, I mean, I understand why they did it. Don't get it mistaken. We know why that happened. But I figured you might give your boy a little bit of a leash, But I mean, when your first pass of the season's an interception, you're in trouble. And I think I think it might be a mental thing. He might be out of confidence at this point. Like, I mean, if you look at it, you got to wonder why you're even doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and you just get beat up every game. It's hard to do anything with that.
you know, excuse me. Um, he's at risk of already losing his job. I mean, it's probably already on their board, their draft board, looking at quarterback here.
Well, well, at least we know they'll be in position to get whoever they want. You
Oh
know.
yeah, mission continues. Number one overall. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing a bit of an echo, I don't know where it's coming from, but it's all of a sudden here.
You catching a little bit of an echo.
Yeah, got a smidge of an echo cracking here.
Well, sorry, folks. We don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But anyway, if you can bear through and stay with us, we'll keep going on here. Uh, but yeah, so we'll see what happens here. I'm not surprised because Bryce Young is trash. Like I said, the GM for the Panthers every day has to wake up and look himself in the mirror and say, "How did I take him over CJ Stroud? Why did I take him over CJ Stroud?" And this has been the continual thing since Cam, quarterback woes.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's part of the football gods. They've got a way of correcting disrespect. You're going to sit there and disrespect probably, let's be realistic, the greatest quarterback your franchise has probably seen. What are you going to yell, Jake Delhomme? I'd probably take a Cam over him, if we're going to be honest. And you see it when teams do that. Look at the Colts after Peyton Manning. What have we talked about? You had Andrew Luck? That was exciting for 3 years.
right.
Like the football gods got a way of saying, this ain't right. You ain't right, boy. And I appreciate it sometimes.
Yeah, he's at risk of losing his job. Like I said, because there definitely are a few quarterbacks that could come out next year, and Carolina's going to be looking to reload. They'll be probably get a Georgia Bulldog down there, or a Cam Ward if he keep going crazy in Miami the way he's doing. He might be the
Yeah.
last.
Yeah, I know Sanders is a hot topic. You know, a lot of people like him, but I mean, I don't know if it's going to translate to the NFL level. I don't have a lot of faith in it.
I have
Uh,
none. None. I'm not big on Shador at all. Uh, I just don't think he got it. I mean, he hold on to the ball too long. There's all kind of stuff going on in this game, but when you Deion Sanders son, you got a name that might be enough to get you to the league.
yeah, oh, he's getting into the league. There's no doubt in my mind. Someone's going to take him in the league. They're going to make the mistake of drafting him in the first round.
The perfect might be the Panthers move. Get the next mistake in there.
Yeah, you know, you're ready for the next mistake. You're
Yeah.
absolutely spot on there. Like, if we know anything,
Cleveland.
that Cleveland, Cleveland. Cleveland is absolutely in a terrible position. They are in trouble because even if they wanted to get out of Deshaun Watson, it's like 100. They haven't even really started paying the man yet. So
Mhm.
his cap hit is still like $175 million next year, which makes absolutely no sense. You can't kick the can down the road that far, you know. But supposedly there might be some outs in that contract all of a sudden. From what I read, they did waive the old shenanigans where the guys got to, no new threats kind of thing. Uh, kind of went away. So, like in his old contract, he was protected if there was a new case that popped up. And when they reworked it this offseason, I guess the Browns had taken that out. And all of a sudden, we start seeing a few more pop up. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, when you got 27 or whatever the number is up to these days, one of them's got to be legit. All right.
Dude, at least 6 of them, man. You don't get up into once you hit the teens, you're like, no, he did that shit. It's
Yeah.
confirmed. But then you upwards of almost 30 people. Stop playing, bro. You did that shit. At
Yeah.
least six
Yeah.
people. 6 different people on many occasions.
Mm,
Out to
mm.
down in Texas going crazy just because you got your little rookie deal. Throwing money, bro, going crazy.
But I do want to point out this, though. Those allegations in the Texans did not start until he wanted to get paid. And then when he went to Cleveland, now we're seeing another one go up now that they can get out of the contract, which I'm not saying it's not legitimate, but it does
Look.
raise some eyebrows when I'm looking at it. You know, like I do.
I'm gonna say about the Browns is this. They're known to keep a tape or two. They'll hold on to it as long as they need to until the right hand needs to get it. They was like, oh man, the Chiefs are looking good. We need to hurt their season. Let's drop the Kareem Hunt tape. Let's drop
Mm.
John Dorsey. Like I said, still out there in Cleveland bitter. Just drop the tape. But
Yeah.
shoot, man.
Speaking
Now
of
he's did a credit card that's kind of big. It's been enough time for it to fall off your credit. He gonna be here tomorrow, baby. We might have a lovely reunion.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. We speaking of Cleveland players and whatnot, we do need to address the Kareem Hunt possibilities. You know, they've not completely disappeared, and it'll be interesting. I think I question how much is left in the gas tank. You know, I know we talked about it off screen for a minute, but
Yeah,
um,
let's dive into it for a little bit here.
yeah, we'll let the folks into our conversation. You know, when you start
Right.
looking at what Kareem Hunt did last season, you know, we're talking about a 3 yard average carry. And, when you start seeing guys fall off like Melvin Gordon, we've seen the same thing. Like the production just starts going downhill. Now, we both agree this is a significantly better, you can't get better of a situation, right?
Man.
So,
And it's almost a homecoming. So we would have to think of the rejuvenation of spirit, so to speak, too. for all these years playing in football purgatory.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a redemption arc? Like this will give you that chance to correct all those mistakes that you did before. Like you sometimes in life you wish you can go back and make things different, and you can't go back in time, but this might be his opportunity to make
Mm-hmm.
things a little bit different. I've got a lot of questions. Look, there's a reason he's sitting on the couch right now, right? This is week 2 of the NFL. You got to think if he has got a lot left in the gas tank, someone might have took another flyer on him before us.
My only thing I'd say in regard to that, there's not really a team in dire need of a running back to even take a flyer on him. A lot of these people are in solid situations. A lot of people didn't have running backs solidified that in the offseason via trades and free agent acquirers. Um, I think it's almost the perfect situation for him to be sitting on the couch waiting because he's
Yeah,
fresh.
it had to be probably his strategy because I did take a dive down the available running back free agents.
Mm-hmm.
It's
There's
not
not
a
a
great
lot out
list.
there.
It's not a list.
Yeah.
It's
They
what we're
say,
really looking at is him or McKinnon is what you're really
and I
looking at.
believe, isn't McKinnon still hurt? Isn't he still on an injury, I think?
He might be. I didn't look into that. I didn't check on that. And that might be what, disqualifies
I
him
think
over
that's why. I
Kareem.
think that's the reason why we didn't sign him at the beginning of the season because I think because he's hurt. Let me see here. That's why we got the power of technology here.
Yeah, technology is amazing sometimes. It allows us to fact check in real time to know, make sure we got our story straight, because you're right. It could very well be McKinnon,
Gotcha.
is,
So yeah, he had a growing injury, and that was even still lingering after the Super Bowl kind of situation for what I'm seeing here.
yeah. And the other problem is McKinnon isn't really a one first down, second down
Right.
kind of back. It's not really. And do you really want, put the full workload on him? I've seen a lot of people mention still getting a full workload, but we're talking about an undrafted free agent that was lucky to
Right.
make the roster. If we're going to be completely honest,
Who you
you
talking
know,
about? Lucky as far as in skill?
yeah.
No, I thought it was clear cut. He was gonna make it. He's too explosive.
Well, I mean, once we seen him play, I think it was
Oh, well,
clear
yeah,
cut.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
But coming into camp, people definitely told him to stay in the hotel and don't buy don't buy no house, bro. Like
Right.
wait till these checks start coming in.
I'm trying to tell you, that's real life, though.
Right.
But no, I'm glad to see you down there, and since we can pretty much guarantee we're gonna see Pop for about 8 weeks, maybe 6. Hopefully, he come back quicker. Uh, I would like the idea of having Pirine, Steele, and Hunt. Because I know Kareem can catch, and I know he can run.
Yeah.
So it solidifies everything. And how to have his boys back. I'm trying to tell you, it would be such a locker room rejuvenating all the OGs. He'd be the only OG that's, he's in the pre Chiefs Super Bowl era. Like he was the reason why we was on the cusp of winning. And then,
Right.
like you said, you see him crying the first year we win. He said, "Boy, I'm supposed to be at the Super Bowl." He crying in Cleveland. He learned his lesson, boy. Bring him on home, man. Let that man run.
Right. Yeah, I felt that man, that video, I think he was pulled over or something and was
Yeah, he
crying
pulled
about
up
it.
by the
Yeah.
car. Yeah,
Yeah.
hurt.
That was one of the saddest videos I think I ever seen, man. Like you felt bad for bro.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's just stuck in Cleveland dealing with the garbage and then
But see,
just being
had he had just told the truth, Andy Reid and them could have got that tape. They would have pulled a Tyreek Hill kind of situation. It was like we could have finagled that. You just should have told us, baby. You shouldn't have lied. But I
Yeah, and
bet the
speaking
kid
of
never lied again.
right, yeah, you can't lie. You can't lie no more about that. Like, it's just a sad thing. It was a sad situation. And since you mentioned his name, and I know this has become uh, beating a dead horse subject, but the whole Tyreek Hill thing is wild to me. The fact that some people can watch that video and say that shit was kosher in any form or suggestion or any way possible blows my mind. Like it just reminds you how many racists are in America or something. Like it's just sad. Well, he should have just listened. He should have just listened. I'm like, well, he did every time. Every time. He listened. You told him to
Man,
roll the window down, he did it. Like, what more? Oh, was it down far enough so you threw a fit? It just shows you how pussy cops have become when they know you don't legally have to roll it down more than he did. And yet, here we go, having a power trip, done lost your job by a cop who, if you look at his little police record, constantly gets suspended for this bullshit. This is not
it
his
has a
first time.
history.
Deep history. Bro
Man,
got suspended 3 times in 1 year. Like, imagine a job that you can have where you get suspended 3 times and still got that motherfucker. Like, it don't make no.
whoa,
Boy, it's got me cussing. It's got me so mind blown that it's like, what does it even take to get a cop fired? That's what I need to know. If you're upset about it, we can skip the whole Tyreek Hill thing. How do you get 3 suspensions in 1 year, 5 days a pop? And you know how hard it is for a cop to get suspended in the first place.
man,
All right. That's a whole other hurdle to clear, right?
man.
They haven't even suspended him for this instance. Really, they put him on desk duty. What's
Right.
what does that mean? What is that supposed to do?
Just gotta earn your check a different way, my boy. We
Mm,
really like what you're doing out here, but we can't let the media know it.
mm.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
and
hit you with this right here.
the police union came out, said they supported his actions. Reminds you how corrupt the police union is. Like,
Well, you know
it,
they gonna stick together.
and the
They ain't
wildest
gonna do
part is,
nothing else.
yeah, I said it in our Tyreek Hill video. I said you got to be very careful picking on someone that has a lawyer on retainer. Like
Man,
that might not be the guy you pick on, and you could tell by the car he can afford a lawyer on retainer.
man.
Like, dumb, just dumb, all around dumb.
Yeah, can't voice it any simpler than that.
Right, man, it's just crazy. Speaking
And
of
the quick,
crazy,
oh, I was just gonna say the quick update. The Eagles are on top 21-15 right now. Falcons have the ball under a minute left in that game, so we'll see the results soon enough here if Kirk Thuggins can get a touchdown and get this game going.
yeah. And speaking of games going, what blew my mind was the Bills were able to go down to Miami and pull off that victory.
And you know what? When I picked that and I went back and looked at the list and I had that asterisk there, and I think I only put it there because Miami continues to show me they can't beat Buffalo. It reminds me of when the Chiefs played in the '90s. You just can't win. And no matter what Miami do, they just cannot beat Buffalo. So it's gonna be so hard for them to win that division, especially if Buffalo can beat them twice.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, after we seen this stuff from Tua,
Man,
once he started throwing up them concussion gang signs,
boy,
whatever they do in
yeah,
Hawaii, I guess,
that's that rain
they
man
look,
math. Yeah.
yeah, it looks different in right now.
Man,
I like as soon as I seen that, I said, "Well, there goes that playoff pick."
man,
You got to mess up one, and here we go, week 2. But realistically, even before you went down, the Dolphins were losing that game.
oh yeah, he threw like 3 picks. He was all over the place. And as tradition, Tyreek Hill score on Buffalo. I said, man, it's the whole thing down there. I just don't know how they said he was the number one player in the NFL. That thing's crazy. Just because they hate Pat that much, you give it to
Yeah.
a dude who ain't even score on a division rival.
Look,
Good
I,
night.
I actually wasn't mad about Tyreek Hill number one. What made me mad was they decided to put Lamar Jackson ahead of Mahomes. I'm like, if you're really out here saying Mahomes is not the best quarterback, you're bullshitting. Like you're blowing.
It's
Like that
crazy
ain't.
that they had anybody in front of him. That's
Yeah,
the craziest part.
I mean, realistically, especially being a quarterback-driven league, like
Man, like what are we talking about? Even if you want to throw a skill player in there, you want to pick Tyreek Hill? Good night.
I mean, he's the most dangerous threat in the NFL. You know,
Is
there's
he
probably
now?
a he is. Oh yeah. You know, there's
I'm,
some receivers that I'd consider taking over him. You know, just like in pure
I'm saying
receiving ability.
in my opinion, he's losing that allure.
I don't know. He still got that speed. Like, yeah. There's not many. I can't think of anybody I'd
Xavier
trust the
Worthy.
ball. He's close. He's close. He's getting there. He's got that speed too. It's nice to see back in the Kansas
Shit,
City
Rasheed
offense.
Rice hit an extra year the other day too.
But yeah, did he not ever?
Yeah.
Well, jeez. And speaking of hitting different speeds, let's talk about this upset. Ooh, we're going to be saying that a lot today. This upset with the Vikings beating the 49ers
Oh yeah.
23 to 17.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Quick update. Touchdown Falcons.
Ooh.
All right,
Ooh.
Thuggins. 22-21, fourth quarter.
How much time's left on the clock?
34 seconds.
If you had Pat Mahomes, you'd feel real comfortable right now.
But they don't. They have a
They
guy who
don't.
went to Bama.
I hope his last 34 seconds is successful for him. I'm just not a Kirk Thuggins supporter. I
Let's
don't know.
go, Kirk Cole.
But look, he's
Kirko
proven.
Chains.
Anytime he proves me wrong, I start hating the man a little bit more.
It
And here
seems
he
like it.
is.
It
Yeah,
seems
here
like
he
it.
is with a fourth quarter comeback, which I'm supposed to say he
Prime
can't do.
time.
Yeah,
Right. When you say he never can do it,
he can never do it. And here he go. Every
and
time I
here
say
he is
that,
doing everything that you ask of me. You want to say you move the goalpost a little
close
bit
it a
further.
little further. Well, do it again. Do it again. Let's see you do it. Damn, you did it again. Fuck, I bet you can't do it again. Like, let's double down. I'm gonna double down until I hit, bro. Uh,
He's doing it. We're gonna see. I mean, technically, they still got enough time, but yeah,
yeah, I mean, the little bit that, and this is what's funky about the new kickoff rules, right?
man, that's the it gets you awfully close.
You start getting a lot closer all of a sudden, real quick, like. And it'll be interesting to see how that affects stuff like this because, it may not seem like a huge difference bumping it up 5 yards, but when you're trying to get into field goal range, all of a sudden you need to make it what 30 yards, 30, 40,
Right.
35 yards, and you're in field goal range. Like it was. I feel like if they get rid of the kickoff, they're just going to start off at the 50. Like we might as well cut the field in half and see what it looks like.
You know what? Let's see here. Let me pull my scores back up.
Oh, speaking of
Kirko.
scores, I had this as an upset, and I missed on it. I missed on this one. I thought this was going to be my upset, and they almost pulled it off. And that's going to be the Seahawks versus the Patriots. The Seahawks win 23 to 20.
I could have told
Bruh,
you that was gonna happen, baby. I don't know why you didn't hear me in the back of your head talking about what are you talking about? They're gonna beat the Seahawks.
well, looking at the schedule this week, the matchups, it was just so many obvious wins that I thought it was one of them. I was like, the Seahawks are going to walk away with this one, or should, in theory, right? On
Like yeah, the
paper.
Patriots, they D is legit. I keep telling you, but that offense just ain't enough yet.
Well, I'm going to use what the other 31 teams say when they play against the Chiefs. I'm going to use the excuse that I've come to learn. It was the refs.
It was
You
the
know,
refs.
it was the refs. That's why I lost that bet. It was the refs. Yeah, yeah. I know how weak that is, but
Yeah,
I'm
you
out
got
of
to pay.
excuses. When you run out of excuses, it's the perfect one to fall back on.
When you got to do what you got to do, you know,
Right.
understand. But yeah, so we seen the only upset that it's an upset because I didn't think they could do it because they're looking like what I said they should look like last year, and that's the New Orleans Saints beating the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm just like, does Derek Carr finally wake up and realize he played in the NFC South? I'm like, did you finally realize it?
Well, you
Did
know
you
what they
get the
did, right?
job done? You had weapons. Did you finally wake up and realize it?
It sure seems like it. Like, if we're going to be completely honest, like, it don't get no more apparent than this. Like, it's about as good as it can get, I'd say. Like, if we're is
Man,
they got the boy in offensive line, and it has seemed to have made a world of a difference.
it has. He's dropping dimes. He's making them a contender.
I
Long
think
story short.
week 17 was also a 40-point game for them last season. So
Did they get the ball
technically,
back? Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yep. Kurt Thuggins, give him his respect, man. This game's
uh,
over. Give it to him. Prime time win over the Eagles. Just like I said. You want to know what just happened to seal this game? That Alabama quarterback threw a pick. It's all in his alma mater, man. I keep telling you, there ain't no good Alabama quarterbacks in the league. Never have, never will be.
speaking of Alabama quarterbacks, I know we're skipping paces a little bit, but we need to talk about that Sunday night game real quick since we're on Alabama quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Someone on this show was the forefront of the Caleb Williams is a bust pick, and he was so confident in it, he made me jump on the bandwagon and says, you know what? Maybe we do need to see it. Maybe we need to actually see him perform in an NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
And wild enough, what do we see? Not a very good Caleb Williams.
Now,
And
lo and behold, like I said, man, I'm not a believer, and I'm
yeah,
pretty much ready to triple down on that.
yeah, he's going to need some kind of Jordan Love performance where he really turns it on or something. Because, look, the Bears did everything they could to surround him with talent, for a Chicago Bears team. It's probably the most loaded they've been in years, especially with a rookie quarterback. And I don't think they did Fields quite like that. You can talk about DJ Moore, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that was enough. And they had Keenan Allen, which was questionable, but a good number two guy at least. Number two, number three kind of depth,
I'm
and
trying to
you
tell
still
you.
got nothing there. Absolutely nothing.
And the Twitterverse is going crazy over your boy Kirko James down there doing what he had to do. Just too bad you're gonna lose next weekend, though, Falcons. And I hate to say it, even though I'm such a big fans, but you gotta play the champions. We coming to town. They gotta play them on my birthday. And Pat, I already told him what I needed for my birthday. I need the dub.
Mm, mm, Ain't that the truth? Yeah, it's not gonna be pretty for them next week. They're gonna need to do better than what they've been doing, but at least
At least you got one primetime win. You got Kirk Cousins got the ghost off his back, man. Monkey off his back. They say he can't do it. And he's been doing it. He got a couple under there now.
right? He's got a few more on his resume than when I first started talking shit. It always, when I start talking shit on these quarterbacks, man, fucking
They
karma
turn
seems
up.
to they turn up every time, man.
And what did I tell you about that Kyler Marvin Harrison Jr. connect? I told you. I'm trying to tell you, man. When sometimes you need somebody to come there and rejuvenate the locker room. You need
Yeah.
you need Optimus Prime. So you go get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, yeah, and they, if you guys want to know the score to that game, the Cardinals did play the Rams 41-10. For those say that again, 41-10, and
Oh,
Kyler Murray leads the league in deep balls.
yep.
How about that?
When you
Talk
got
about
Marvin,
something.
I've been telling people all off season, man. With Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State, he's the best receiver out the class. I know Malik Neighbors is still doing pretty good up there with Daniel Jones, considering like just looking at stats, but Marvin Harrison's a game changer.
Yeah, and you always get kind of worried when you get these lock picks, like we seen with like Caleb Williams and stuff like that, where it's just clear cut number one guys. But he's got a way to turn you into a believer if you weren't believing before.
Man.
Even though week one he did there wasn't a lot of connection there between the two, but
Like I
that
said,
happens.
a little growing pain. And then, his daddy had to slide to practice with the 40 on him, like, hey, Kyler, let me talk to you.
Let him know. Let him
What? I'm
know.
trying to tell you, whenever you see, if you see the back of Marvin jersey, you throw it. That means he open.
And now we need to talk about one of my parlay killers. One of these picks that I picked wrong. The Colts played the Packers. The
Oh, I
Packers
thought you was
win.
going to talk about the other ones. Yeah,
Look, too
I
many of
don't
them
know.
this week, it feels like.
The Packers are going to the Super Bowl. I keep telling you this. They can't afford to lose games that they're supposed to win along the way.
I was getting real nervous about that pick with Jordan Love being out for a few weeks. That's not a hole you want to put yourself in. But they pulled it off. They did the unbelievable and beat. I really thought I felt like it was a lock. You got Anthony Richardson for the Colts, who should, if you're losing to Malik Williams,
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis, sorry, his name's not even worth fucking remembering if we're going to be honest. And it's tough time for the Colts, man. Like that makes you question a lot. Like if you're going up against a backup quarterback.
I think, but Malik Willis ain't going to do nothing but get better. I don't think he got the fair shake down with the Titans.
Well, I mean,
I'm
in
saying they
fairness,
went with this other Jimmy Jam, and you see he ran the worst. Anyway, it ain't no more talking about that.
Oh yeah, we got the Titans coming up. Don't worry, we'll bring them up here before long. Yeah,
right.
I want to talk a little poop on that situation. Speaking of poop on that situation, we have the Panthers versus the Chargers, which was my lock of the week. Look, and you don't find me betting on the Chargers often,
Man.
and I call this the lock of the week. And sure enough, we get a 26-3 game. Dear Lordy Wody. Bryce Young did so bad, they put him on the bench, and we get Andy Dalton back in the mix.
Man. R.I.P. to the Panthers in the season. They're officially going back for that number one spot. Because, like I said, they going to have to try to get Arch Manning or something. They going to try to go to something.
Yeah, and the shiestiest part about this, and it just reminds you of how shiesty the whole Carolina Panthers organization is they didn't even tell Bryce Young that he was getting benched until they did it. And I'm like, you can't sit the man down and have a man-to-man conversation. No,
Picked
that's
you
too.
number one overall. You sold us a dream. We picked you number one overall. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Trash that.
But hey, this is why the football gods bless you like they do. Look, let's be honest.
You done already 42 fleeces. You got all these millions. You ain't doing nothing.
Right. Speaking of doing nothing, we need to talk about these Jaguars. Man. They played the Browns, lost to the Browns, 18-13. They got no business losing that game.
None at all. And now you're on to in a competitive AFC South. You're starting with a hole in the foot. And I don't know what's going on down there. I don't know what Doug Peterson's on, what he need to figure out, but he better figure it out quick.
Yeah, that
And
formula.
besides losing some of your offensive line don't help.
Yeah, and let's not pretend that offensive line isn't a major factor, right? Like
Right.
it makes a difference, but good lordy, Wody, like you gotta do
Gotta
something
do
better.
something. Right. Let me say Travis Etienne, my boy. That's the bright spot from that day. Anytime score, got me a few units off that. He's always reliable when it comes to Jacksonville.
Right?
If anybody's gonna score, it's gonna be him.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking, if anyone's gonna score, the Jets actually won a game. They won 24-17. Now it is against this garbage fire Titans, who look, it's impressive. They scored 17 points.
Dude,
Let's
it's
be completely
impressive
honest.
that Green Bay scored. I mean, that the Jets scored 24. I'm surprised Aaron didn't quit halfway through. Well,
There is some of that.
he's still, bro. They're still gonna be terrible, bro. Like I said, but yeah, the Titans lost because of just turnover thing, the interceptions and fumbles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the fact they went into this season with Will Levis at quarterback lets you know there was no hope.
man.
There's nothing you can hang your hat off and say, yeah, that was decent. That was okay.
Hmm.
Like, I'd have been looking, bro. Like you could have got Gardner Minshew. Like you could have started going around the league and looking for something. Will Levis, bro. If I'm your teammate and you telling me my quarterback is Will Levis, I think I'm
Man.
faking an injury. I might
Like
have turf toe.
DeAndre Hopkins, you see, he's about to just become a relic down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, well, that's his own fault. Some of these dudes will take that paycheck over winning, and
Man,
you can't get too mad at it, but it's hard to continue to get contracts if you go to a place that's going to make you look like boo boo.
man. Because, yeah, he's definitely looking like a heap of trash down there. One reception, 9 yards. That's all she wrote.
Right, right. And look, we need to talk about this upset that I nailed. I finally got one right. We got one right, folks. Buccaneers versus the Lions, 20-16. When you looked at the line, it said like, it was a real close line. I think it was like a 3-point line or
Yeah,
2.5.
it was
Like they
2.5.
even Yeah, they even hinted that the Buccaneers were going to win this game with that kind of line. And then you see that 5% of the public on the Buccaneers, and you can't do that on close games. Like it
Right.
just the Lions on paper are a better team. I'm Captain Lions team over here. Someone's got to represent them. And even I was like, look, I want the Lions to win, but I'm going to bet the Buccaneers because Mama didn't raise no fool.
Right. No, I just went with the Bucks straight out because I'm just like, man, the Lions are too full of themselves and they need a reality check. And who
Yeah.
better than the best situation quarterback in the league right now, Baker Mayfield. Best in the situation.
Crazy to think about. It's wild to see the Browns sitting here struggling with Deshaun Watson and
Yeah,
old Baker
baby.
Mayfield. Old
That's
Baker.
what I'm saying about Tennessee. You talking about you win with Levis, Malik Willis come in and lead the Packers to the victory. Lead the Packers to the
Yeah, and it's pretty messed up if or Malik has he's a backup and has more wins than your starter.
Thank
Like
you.
that's all I'm saying. Like
Thank you.
it might have messed up.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of messed up, we got the parlay killer of the week, which should have been the lock of the week. And shout out to the user Unfazed, who is one of our fans. Uh, he's a Raiders fan, so obviously he was picking the Raiders versus the Ravens. But I really sat there and told him for an hour that I could not possibly find a way for the Raiders to win this game. I said the only thing you got going for you is the Baltimore Ravens have a weak offensive line and you have a good defensive line. And this is a showcase of why the game is won in the trenches.
Right. Max Crosby showed you that.
Yeah, and I want to shout out Devonte Adams because we want to talk about guys in shitty situations. He still has managed to perform at a very high level for being such a dumpster fire of a team.
Oh yeah, I mean he is the target down there, so yeah, it makes sense.
And speaking of making sense, anytime you bet on these Kansas City Chiefs, you will make some sense.
Oh yeah,
The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Bengals 26-25.
and that's tradition, folks. Like I said, the Bengals are always on the Bengal. They're just gonna figure out a way to lose the game. They talk about, oh, we got lucky in the win. This is what the Bengals do. They can't play a clean football game. And that's why they lost once again. Even the pass interference that they tried to call on McDuffie when Jamar Chase pulled him down by his thumb. I said, bro, I'm like, you talking about we getting called? Like, we had so many big plays erased. I don't want to hear nothing about a dude who was light years early on a play.
Yeah.
The clearest pass interference anybody's almost ever seen.
Yeah, and the wildest part about that was what, like a 4th and 16 play or something like that.
Yeah.
And people go, the refs are just there to help Kansas City. And I was like, well, if you look at the play before, when they picked up that first down,
Right.
what got
erased?
4th
and 6. Right. Easily picked it up.
Yeah, and it's kind of wild that you can watch the refs move Kansas City into an even worse position.
Man.
And magically the refs are helping because your guy decided to get there before the ball was even close to getting there.
Like, what are we talking about? He's climbing his back. He's all on his neck for the ball didn't get there. He's talking about, that's just a defense. So the defenders allowed to make a play on the ball. Yeah, if it's a catchable ball and the receivers can make a play on it too. Do you not know what PI is? You impeded the pass.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, you can't give out piggyback rides and do that. Give me. I'm gonna hop off for 1 second.
No sweat. But folk, if it was that easy, everybody would do it. Every defender on every defense. So I mean, we hear a lot of whining, we hear a lot of complaining. People talking about the Chiefs are getting lucky. They got lucky because of this kind of call. Like I said, last year in the playoff run, if Duke could maintain his composure and realize that you're fucking 5 feet into the white, you don't hit the starting quarterback of the other team. Anybody's gonna throw the flag with that, no matter who's the quarterback. And then you look at this. A dude is clearly on his back before the ball gets there. It's pass interference everywhere. Like, no matter what game it would be on, who was the quarterback throwing it, no matter if it was Gardner Minshew or Josh Allen, it would have been pass interference either way.
Yeah. And the saddest part is before kickoff, I go, how much you want to bet we're going to hear that the refs are magically favoring the Chiefs? I was like, we already know what the excuse is.
That's their usual violin story. But we be the most penalized, the most yards and penalties by far. Dude, like I said, we had a whole 51-yard play erased on a hold. Like, you have got to be kidding. Like, shut up. Like,
yeah.
You're crazy.
And really, if you want to talk about the refs, like, you got to talk about the dumb decision by Jamar Chase to erase what you just did. Like, you have the opportunity to put the game away, and this is what your players do.
That's what I said, because the moment's so big. Like you said, I was telling folks they can't keep their composure. That's why I jumped back to the playoff last year. I said, bro, you're 5 feet in the white. Why are you still trying to tackle this man? The play is beyond over. You did it to yourself. You pass interference, like I said, you got some young dude out here who probably shouldn't even been playing. You run out there, you tackle this man, you're all on his back before the ball even gets. You're not even playing the ball. Like you literally just jumped on his neck.
Right. And you might want to have a discussion while you have a seventh round pick, you
Man,
know, being
trying to
that
guard
guy. But
Rasheed Rice at
Rasheed
that
Rice,
point.
you're picking your seven. Like you want to talk about the refs doing us a favor. We need to talk
Man,
about how the
y'all did
Bengals
us the
were,
favor. Shit.
look, seventh round pick on your number one wide receiver. That, that sounds like a Chiefs move. The Chiefs can get away
Man,
with
the
that.
Chiefs would get away with that, right? But that ain't a Bengal move. Like I said, as tradition, the Bengals will Bengal. We beat them 3 times straight. I don't want to hear nothing else about Cincinnati, about Joe Burrow, about Jamar Chase, anybody else who's left on the team. I don't want to hear not a shit word about it. Point
Yeah,
blank period.
they messed up and called it Burrowhead. They done messed up. That was
Oh,
that
and
was
three
the nail.
six.
Yeah, that was the nail in the coffin.
Man,
That was
you get lucky, squeezed by one game. You act like y'all blew us out. You won by a point on a field goal. And you act, man, good night. They act like they changed the world. They invented the wheel with that.
right. Yeah, it just don't make no sense. Speaking of stuff that don't make sense, how can you still support these Broncos? How are you still rooting for Bo Nix? How are you still hyping up Sean Payton when you're out here starting out 0-2? Here you go, losing last week to the Seahawks. This week you're losing to the Steelers 13-6.
Well, if you're an avid watcher of the show, we told you this months ago that this was going to happen. Well, at least I've been trying to tell you. Sean Payton is not a quarterback whisperer. He inherited one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. I'm tired of talking about it. Who is Bo Nix? Who cares? I don't care who he got. He's he's terrible.
What they
He's
say?
terrible.
What's the old saying? This one looks like that one. That one looks like this one. Like there ain't no difference. What's the
Ain't no
difference between
difference.
Bo Nix and Drew Lock? Like
Nothing.
nothing. You ain't gonna tell me nothing.
Well, Drew Lock knows the lyrics to Young Jeezy, and Bo Nix probably don't. That's the only difference.
Yeah, and you can thank that to the old Lee Summit upbringing.
Right.
That made perfect sense. I was thinking,
Right.
yep, little preppy white boy out here. He still
Right.
he still had a few. I
His
guarantee
dream
you.
job is to be the backup in Kansas City, I'm sure. He said, let me just back up this man. Let me just back up Pat, man. Please.
Man, that's I feel like that's a very, very true statement. It won't happen.
For real.
It'll never happen. Andy Reid likes him a nice, aged veteran quarterback that knows like you ain't got the arm no more, boy. But
Right.
you got the football IQ.
You got
And that's all I need out you.
the man. Good night.
Yeah. And
So
yeah, it's crazy. Shout out to old Drew Lock and that Lee Summit high school
right.
football program. Yeah, y'all actually did some, putting the
Right.
burbs on the map.
Right.
I
Do
mean, I
what
don't
you
think
have
we've
to do.
seen anybody from the area since Josh Freeman, I think.
No, not since Freeman. Well, not on the football end anyway, for sure. None that I can think of.
Yeah. Oh, Derek Nottie. I think, wasn't Derek Nottie a Kansas City kid?
No.
Did I get that wrong? I felt like he was.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Derek
I
Knox.
mean,
He's
I could be thinking of someone else.
I want to say he's from Florida or something.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think we've had this conversation more than once. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I've gotten this wrong before.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Uh,
sure. Or
I'm gonna pull
maybe
it. I'm pulling it up.
he's from
Yeah,
something weird. Is it Virginia? Or he's either from Virginia, Rhode Island, or like New Hampshire, something like that. He hang from. I have to look. I ain't sure. Well, you said you're looking, so you'll find out.
yeah, Virginia Beach,
Virginia Beach.
Virginia.
Okay, that's what
Yep.
I'm like. He's from somewhere. Yeah, Trey Songz and them from them one of them weird small towns in Virginia.
Yeah, but he's a standout dude because every time the Chiefs win, he pays for the adoption for a dog. Like he's out here trying to help the the little animal shelter stuff.
Well, he ain't going nowhere. He probably gonna be a lifelong Chief too. I don't think they'll get rid of Derek Nottie. It's been too long now.
Yeah, yeah, I think they like his defensive tackle ability. At least a rotational
He's a
guy.
run stuff. He's a great run stuffer. I
Yeah,
like him.
and he's never taxed the team, so he's always taken like very reasonable contracts. And like
Right.
when you do that, they're gonna like look. We only got to give you a couple mil and you'll play. Come here, bud.
Well, shoot, you got to remember, man. He started the same year. What Pat was drafted in 17. So yeah, we got Nottie in 18. So he only know going to the championship game or Super Bowl. So you want to stick around that kind of energy. As long as he making enough millions, I'm sure he got a few endorsements somewhere. He gonna be just fine. He ain't worried about it.
Yeah, yeah, and with a nowadays there it seems like the NFL is getting better at using like financial advisors to help you not
Don't go
be that
broke.
30 for 30 guy. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I made over 300 million playing, and my net worth is $50.
Mm, mm. Starting to get Mike Tyson vibes.
I'm
I'm
trying
glad
to
he
tell you.
turned that around.
Ooh, right. Had to start getting that bud out there. Taking some of these fights, get this herb out there.
I'm
He
not
said, I'm an animal, I'm a different beast in a different realm now. Can't nobody grow like me. Can't nobody smoke like me. Can't nobody make these edibles like me. I'm a beast.
I wish I could say my favorite quote by Mike Tyson, but I know YouTube will go crazy if I say the F word. So I'll just, if you can, if you can imagine what little three-letter F word I'm about to use, but he was like, I'm gonna fuck you till you love me, F word,"
Right.
and I always die laughing because it was always like such a mind fuck of an insult. Like, bruh,
Shit
like
is scary. That
which
shit's
which
crazy.
one which one of us are the F word here? Dang it!
Boy.
Like, bro, you're smiling. If you're the only one enjoying this, you might be the F word and not me, bruh. But it had to be the scariest words ever. Like, I don't want Mike Tyson telling me that.
Mm-mm. And since you was talking about Derek Nottie, I had to go look at his contract. And you're right. I mean, since he's been here, what 2018, he's literally only made about $8 million, eight some
That's
change. But literally all his money's been almost guaranteed. Like even this last contract he signed just for another year, a million of it. It's only for 1,200,000. He got 152 signing bonus, and then 1,000. I mean 1,000. Then 1,092 guaranteed. So he pretty much got all that money already.
Yeah, and that's just barely over the vet minimum.
Hmm.
I think the vet minimum's right at a mil. So, put a little extra love on it for taxes. You know,
Yeah.
you know them Kansas City tax. It's kind of messed up. The only city in the world with a damn tax almost. There ain't too many of them.
Man, if only we was the Commonwealth, but that's a whole nother story.
Right. Look, it was a 12% raise just moving to Florida. I ain't got to pay no state taxes. I ain't got to
Right.
pay no city taxes. Like, sheesh.
Hmm.
Sheesh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think we hit all the games. I know the only one we didn't really talk about was the Falcons and Eagles game, but we kind of talked about that as the show was going along. Again, the Falcons
I
did
think
pull
that
that off,
was.
22-21, was somehow, some way in prime time. Kirk Cousins wins.
Pay him that respect, baby. Kirko Chains. Kirko Chains. He eating some wings tonight. They big in Georgia. That's what they do. He eating some wings tonight.
Mm.
Hmm.
And
Man.
looking into next week, or this week coming up, I should say, not next week, but week 3, we do have the Thursday night game with the Patriots and the Jets. Let's see if there's any other standouts for the primetime games that we can kind of any games to get me real excited. The 49ers versus Rams in the 4 o'clock game on Sunday looks pretty interesting.
Only because they
Um,
both beat up as shit. So we'll
yeah,
see what happens. Yeah, we'll make picks on that Wednesday, of course.
yeah. I think the Lions Cardinals should be a pretty good game, and the Ravens Cowboys. They saved all the they saved all the good matches until the
Later in the
afternoon.
day, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was just looking at because, of course, our game gonna be prime time. Yes, Lord.
Did we? Oh,
So,
we got 2 Monday night games.
oh yeah, we got a 6:30 joint, and then the other one at like 7:15 or something. And I'm
Yeah,
just really wanting to watch that Commanders game, see if they go ahead and knock off these Bengals again.
boy, boy. Like one of these, like the Jaguars versus Bills, got a little bit of potential
Jags,
too.
yeah, Jags need to win. They in must-win mode already.
Ah, it's so
Crazy,
sad to
ain't it?
see. Yeah, it's real tough to see how quickly teams will start getting into that desperation mode. Speaking of desperation mode, something that I did want to touch on. I know we already talked about the Steelers versus Broncos, but but and I really thought we were going to get another week or two before this happened. But you're slowly starting to hear the fire Sean Payton chants. Like
Oh
you're
yeah,
slowly getting there.
folks. When it happens inevitably, you can look back on these tapes, on these recordings, however you want to take it back, look through our archive, and then you be like, man, dude, with the bill was right since the jump.
Mm,
Dude, like it's like I'm the only one looking at reality. Like I didn't get this man no flyer, no leeway, no leadway, no nothing. For one, you're coming into my division. Secondly, talking about sure, man, Russell Wilson, I can turn this thing around. You can't be talking like you actually did something, like you're a viable coach, dude. Like you were the Trent Dilfer of coaches. You were just dropped
mm,
into the most perfect situation as can be. Like I said, you inherited a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, I mean, arguably a top 10 quarterback. If people really will start boiling numbers down, we might have to do that eventually. But I, what did you think he was going to do with Russell Wilson? Like, because once Drew Brees left, and even in Drew Brees' latter years when he was slowing down, your coaching you see was ineffective. Once you start losing different kind of talent and stuff, well, then you couldn't come up with players to win. Like I said, I mean, what more you got to do? You had Michael Thomas, you had all these stars and stuff, and you just couldn't get it done. And you want to come to Denver talking about you, the quarterback whisperer. Bo Nix he's as good as Mahomes, if not better. Like, what are we talking about? How would you even know? When have you ever assessed some talent? Scouts is doing everything for you. Like all your coordinators doing everything for you. Bro, you're just there. You're the face. You're just Sean Payton. You're just there, bro. That's why they made a movie about you and had that fat dude play you. What was his boy name? What's his name?
oh,
King of
I can't.
Queens.
Is
Uh,
um,
fucking wasn't Kevin Hart? Obviously Kevin Hart.
Kevin Smith?
Kevin.
Is that right?
No, fuck. Those don't bother me.
King
Kevin
of Queens.
James.
Yeah, there we go.
Kevin
That's right.
James.
I don't even need to
So
look it up.
you get your life played by a loser overnight, a dude who fell from grace just like you. He was getting a few A-list situations, messing with the boy Adam, sprung out, got a Will Smith classic with Hitch. Then after that, bro, fell on all the way through the basement. Like, bro, that's you. That's why they had him play you. Y'all are one and the same. Losers. Stop playing, man.
Oof, oof.
Stop playing.
That feels disrespectful to Kevin James.
Kevin James, man, ain't my fault he fell off, man. You had the King of Queens, you had everything going for yourself. And then, bro, you just doing the same shtick. You can't do nothing else. You don't have no range. And it ain't
Yeah,
my
but
fault.
true, true.
It ain't my fault. Look, man, if you choose a job where people can nitpick at what you do, people can make PR videos and stuff like that. Man, he ain't got no range. And that's just what it is. And neither does
Yeah,
Sean Payton.
yeah. Sean Payton sure don't. Sure don't. And it's just become more obvious as time has gone along that you were gifted, and it really should tell you something. That what Drew Brees end up with the second most yards of all time,
Uh,
and
yeah, I think so. 'Cause
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Peyton hung around to make sure he could try to take him off the board.
No, I think it was Brady hung around and took him off
Oh
the
yeah,
board.
Breeze. I mean, yeah, I said Peyton.
They,
They
yeah,
both so corny. Yeah, one of them corny
yeah,
motherfuckers.
yeah. I like Peyton though. He's corny as shit, but at least he knows he's corny. Like I can
Mhm.
always respect a man that can at least be able to self evaluate. Like if you can see it, at least you know it. Like I can get with it.
Let's see, is he second all time? Yeah, yeah. Drew Brees is second all time. He got 80,000. Tom Brady got 89. No matter. Pat coming for all of that. That
Yeah.
shit's gonna get sewn up. Peyton at 71. And Pat's currently where at 28,000 by 28, 29.
I think that's about right. That sounds about right. It's been a while since I looked at the total, but I feel like it's in that range.
Yeah, so he'll be up here. He'll be up here soon, man. It won't take too much longer to catch up with Dan Fouts. He's the top 20 lead. He's the top 20 keeper with 43,000.
And I think he's became the Chiefs' all-time leading passer right now too. Yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah,
he
he already
surpassed.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, he surpassed Lynn Dawson, and Travis Kelsey passed Tony
Gonzalez, yeah.
Gonzalez.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad he erased that man from the books. Get him out of here. You said you a Falcon. I remember. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. So yeah, get that
you
man
can,
out of every record. I hope he ain't in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. Because if he is, they need to take him on out.
I don't think he's made it yet.
Yeah,
I don't.
hopefully he never do. Because he said he
I
was a Falcon. Remember?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs have trouble putting him there just because of those statements.
Man. And Peyton Manning barely beat out Brett Favre for that third spot. That tell you a lot about my boy Brett Favre. Steal your money.
Yeah, Mister, still all your money. Look, I
And
don't want
Philip
your money.
Rivers.
I want your government's money.
Philip
Look,
Rivers, goddamn.
I know this money was supposed to go to the kids,
Right. Well, who cares?
but my kid needs.
Right.
That shit was so fucking pathetic.
But this is what we need.
That shit. Like I just some of the moves in Brett Favre's life was just fucking sad to see. Like the ability to take a left hand turn on your career is not lost with Brett Favre. Like,
Shit,
sheesh.
Aaron, you see Aaron Rodgers following in his footsteps some way, somehow. So he just doing weird shit to get there.
Right.
We'll
Yeah. It don't.
hear about somebody sooner or later. Especially if he don't get the Jets to the Super Bowl. You know the Jets ain't been to the Super Bowl since Super Bowl three, nigga. So they would be talking
Has it been
about
that long?
droughts. Next year it's been that long. That Joe Namath. That's
Yeah, I was thinking Joe Namath, but for some reason I thought it was sooner than that. Like, oh dear Lord.
I
Let me
could be wrong, but
see.
I'm pretty sure it's like Super Bowl three. It wasn't. I can't imagine them winning any other
Uh,
time.
Tony Gonzalez is in it.
Huh? He is?
Yeah, he is.
Man, whatever. That's crazy.
Maybe he is. I'm not sure if this list is how correct. It's got to be. It's got to be right. I'm looking at these other names because you got Brian Waters, you got Tony Richardson, Will
My boy D
Shields,
Waters.
Dante Hall, Kimball Anders, which was kind of surprising. Oh, Tim
Man.
Grunhard.
And you notice that probably Washington got more chips than the Jets franchise. I love to see it. With Giants, everybody. Well,
Man, there's a name on
Washington
this
got 3
list.
Super Bowls, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. They won a few back in the day. But I'm kind of surprised we don't see Jamal Charles on this list.
I'm not surprised because he ain't really been out too long. What, he just retired, what, like 2 years ago? 2, 3, maybe?
I feel like Jamal Charles has been out the league a minute. I think he left in 2017, I feel like, or 2018.
And he said he always wanted to be a Bronco. I would tell, I wouldn't put him in the ring either.
Yeah, but he did fumble the ball on purpose for us, so I do have questions.
Yeah,
That
yeah, got to
was
be
one of
grateful
those.
for all the help.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. This is when did he retire? Let's see. 2019. Oh, that was
Yeah,
close.
I said, I'm sure someone that'll been a few years back. Keep forgetting it's 2024. Time is flying, but I was gonna say it's been about 2, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, and he did retire as the Chiefs. So he did do that whole little one
Yeah,
day
one day.
contract.
Yeah, he did the Derek Johnson. I mean, I said Derek
Yeah.
Thompson.
Yeah, you gotta sign that one day deal.
Man, because didn't he end up in Jacksonville too? So he was Chiefs,
Yeah.
Broncos, and Jacksonville.
Yeah. Denver 1 year, Jacksonville the next. He only played 2 games in Jacksonville, and that might have been actually one of the things that messed up his average. He had 6 carries for 7 yards, and
Right,
that'll mess you up a little bit.
right.
Jeez, 1,500 yards rushing. Man, that was 2012. That was such a garbage team. Oh Lord. Even 2013, which is what that 3-13 season, the man
Well,
still
he's
put
still
up.
number one though with yards per carry per attempt. So he just ain't 5'5" no more, just 5'4" now.
Yeah,
But
I
I
like the
know
5-5.
we remember 5'5" Jamal Charles is the nastiest dude in the league, man. Anybody tell me about 5'5", boy.
Yeah, you talking 5-5 with Brody Coyle. You know what I mean?
Man,
Like, what are we
Damon
talking about
Hewlett,
here?
like all these dudes, bro. Like, good night. Who's the
Yeah,
other dude from the Patriots? What was his name? I forgot.
talking LeGarrette Blunt.
No, the
Uh,
quarterback we got from the Patriots after
oh, Matt
what
Castle.
Matt Castle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dealing with that because that Matt Castle season, he was actually and Matt Castle was not a good quarterback,
It was.
but he was more serviceable than Tyler Thigpen. And with that, he had seasons with a 6.4 yards average and 6.9. I
Man.
guess the 6.9, we do need to put an asterisk. He did not play the whole time. He didn't. I'm going to take that one away, but the 6.4 is still, 6.4 average. It's crazy. That is
Right.
crazy. You hand the ball off to him twice in a row, and you got first downs every time. You
Man.
know, it don't make no sense.
Man. Yeah. Matt Castle was severely underwhelming, but that's the least to say. We suffered 4 years under that and that Todd Haley regime killing
You know what I
us.
what I did not expect was that he still had a 4.3 yards average carry in Denver. They
Yeah, he's
managed to
still
move on
getting
from him.
off.
That don't make no damn sense. Well, I guess if you see what he did in Jacksonville, I guess it does make a smidge.
Right.
It's start making a little smidge of a sense.
You ain't gotta convince me. I was there. I saw
Right. I seen it.
with my own 2 eyes.
Well, folks,
Yeah.
I know we could ramble about the Kansas City Chiefs, especially their history. For all these bandwagon fan commenters, we could start busting out history if you wanted to, but we could do that all night. And this is just an NFL Week 2 review, so we might save that for tomorrow's night conversation.
Yeah, we'll get into it. And ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all rocking with us and coming through and checking us out. And as always, we'll be back weekly. I said weekly, daily, 8 o'clock ish, 9 o'clock ish. You'll see the alert. That's why you're supposed to subscribe. You look for the
Yeah,
alert when it comes out. But usually
and
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, what, Eastern? 8 o'clock
yeah, 9 o'clock
Central.
Eastern. We got to put that little asterisk because I know we're in different time zones. I know you like to bust out that 8 o'clock, and it almost
Uh-oh.
confuses me. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing nothing at 8.
Right. Man.
Bro, I'm so good. I'm ahead of time, bro. Like, what are we
Man.
doing?
So you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta be fluid. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna catch y'all tomorrow here. Peace and blessings, all that jazz. Boom blam.
Boom, blam. Thank you, ma'am. Pay your bartender, and don't
Tip your
forget to tip.
waitress.